Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ICA TV. Teresa here. Nice to see you today. And it is a total honour today, darlings, to welcome Sally Marshall. She and I spoke about a year ago and sort of caught up with what we were both up to. And I learned more about the magazine that she produces called Steer Your Business, and I've heard some great news today that it's actually going great guns, so this is very cool. But I'll let Sally talk about that for you. So Sally, welcome, my darling.
Thank you, great to be here.
Well, welcome to ICA TV. Sounds quite posh, really, but yes. we're sharing our business stories to other amazing ladies. And hopefully, guys, if you're watching, share what we are doing to ladies in your life. And we're just sharing our stories to inspire others, also to share to others about our business, and they might want to talk to us because you never know. So back in the day, Sally, back in the day, how did you start your business, or what were you doing?
Well, it all started by accident, really. Although I know there's no such thing as accidents, things happen for a reason, don't they? But my background is working in the House of Commons, doing strategy planning and performance, which is very boring to most people, but for a business owner is stuff you need to know. So I did business plans, annual reviews. I managed a big budget, £20 million budget, and also was the secretariat to a board of directors, so presented papers on finance and performance. And then designed a balanced scorecard, which is a management tool for managing resources within your business. And then took early retirement and switched off, like you do.
You finished then? That was it?
I just finished, yes. Didn't really think what I wanted to do at all. And then somebody said to me, but you've got all this knowledge and experience, why don't you use that? And then it occurred to me that actually working with businesses is exactly the same, just the numbers are different. So I was used to working in millions, and most businesses work in hundreds or thousands. But other than that, the rest of it is exactly the same. So that's what I started doing, business coaching. And then somebody challenged me to write a book. And I can remember saying, people like me don't write books, which is the most ridiculous thing to say now. But at the time, having worked in the House of Commons, the people who wrote books were those clever intellectual people. So I've typed a few of those books, but the thought of writing one, no, not me.
Wasn't your thing?
No, well, that's what I thought. 2 books later, it clearly is my thing.
Yeah.
And when you write your knowledge down, you can create a book and share that knowledge with people. And I call them my books, my posh business card, really, because they're an easy intro for people to see whether they're like me, my style, what I say, what I do. And people say when they read my books, they can hear me speaking. So I write as I speak, apparently.
I think that's lovely.
I think it's a good thing. So the first book is called Delegate to Elevate, because a lot of business owners think they have to be a jack of all trades. Actually, you don't. I know it feels like that when you first start, and when you've come from employment to self-employment, everything was done for you. Right. You just did what you were paid for, and everything else happened around you.
Just like magic, isn't it?
It just happens. So when you start on your own, you think you've got to know all about all of that as well and do it, which is quite overwhelming for most people, and that's where they get a bit stuck.
Yeah, a bit scary, isn't it, when you trip over?
It's very scary. So Delegate to Elevate is about getting over that hump, basically, looking at all the things you need to do in your business, and then start to delegate them. So sometimes it's about automating. I've been automating a lot in my business, so things happen without me being involved, which is quite good.
It's nice.
It's like Zapier can move information around, and you don't even realize it's happening. And it can be about finding people who can help you. So maybe outsourcing your social media or outsourcing your bookkeeping, some admin tasks. and it just reduces the burden on you, so you don't have to do everything.
So you can do the
And
things that you're good at, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So like the magazine, I have a graphic designer because, you know, you wouldn't want to see what I could produce at all. But we make a very good team because I'm good at going out and networking and speaking and talking to people, and she's good at, making it all look good. So together we make the perfect team. So I don't have to worry about the design or creating the magazine. I just find the people who can give me the content, who want to advertise.
Is it a literal magazine, a paper?
Yes.
Literal magazine, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like some people, when we're now in so digital world, it's like everything's sort of like a download, or it's a email, or but it's nice to have a.
Yes, it is a digital magazine as well, which is on the website, and you can turn the pages. So you can turn the pages like you would in a physical magazine, but we also print some copies as well. And because people like to turn the pages and sit and read with a coffee or on the train or something, or sit outside in the sun and read a magazine or a book, and it's much easier in a physical copy than it is perhaps on a device. Cool. So we have both. And it's also easier to share it if it's digital. And that's the exciting news that's happened.
Ooh, go on, let everyone know. So let me just recap with the lovely people out there, because they weren't with us on our conversation before. So I got to know Sally, and she had a product, which is a magazine that she was creating for a company, for yourself, to actually share businesses.
The whole ethos behind the magazine is to share information and promote each other, because quite often when you start a business, you're very good at what you do, but you don't have the business skills and you don't have the network. So the idea originally behind the magazine was to just share information and promote each other. I never imagined it would be a glossy magazine. My crazy idea was more a newsletter or a parish magazine, I guess.
Yep.
And it's evolved as my confidence has grown and the people around me have changed and the technology's changed. We now have a glossy magazine.
So you have something. Sorry, darling. You have something that's what's the word? Supported by a company. So people pay for advertising.
Yes. Yeah. That's the way to monetize it.
Is that everybody in the magazine, or do you put smaller businesses in for a different rate, or?
Well, yeah. At the beginning of lockdown, obviously, marketing and advertising budgets were cut by the banks. Basically, when they were looking at loans for bigger businesses, they stripped out the advertising and marketing. So I decided to change or to create a business directory in the back of the magazine and make it into a membership club.
Oh, okay. So
instead of having a club around networking, I created it around the magazine. So for £15 a month plus VAT, so £18 a month if you're not VAT registered, you can have an entry in the business directory, which has your logo, website, email and phone details. So basically what's on your business card. But you also get a link or an entry on the business directory on the website itself. So it puts smaller businesses in front of a much, much wider audience. And over the years, I've built my social media because probably like most people, I didn't really have much of a social media presence. I didn't really understand it, didn't understand why I needed to do it. I now understand and I now build it, or it builds itself now. So on LinkedIn, I have something like 12,000 connections. On Twitter, I've got 20,000 followers, I think. And I do a bit of speaking. I've just done an interview for a virtual summit with 20 speakers, which will go out on social media, which will get me in front of a completely different audience again.
Yep.
So the magazine goes out on my social media, basically. So it puts all of those people in the business directory, the contributors, everything.
in
front of my audience.
Beautiful.
And not every post gets massive engagement, but some of them do. And I posted something on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, which was basically saying I've just had a conversation with somebody about an exciting new magazine, and there was no picture, no video, just text. Had over 9,000 views. I mean, how mad is that?
I just think it's you know, and
they're not all like that, I hasten to add, but that one, you know.
Absolutely. Sometimes we put a post up and it was the simplest, maybe a bit of a brain tease or something like that, and it goes absolutely potty, and you go, and then you can really scribe something and think about, you know, okay,
yes,
the reason I'm doing that, and you sit there and there's like tumbleweed, and you go, I'm sure that was to the point, I'm aiming at the right place, and you know, and it didn't. So yeah, absolutely. And I think the lesson there is to keep doing.
Yes, totally. You have to keep at it, because what happens is people start to recognize you or recognize your name, and then they have a look and see what you do. And I think that's what's happened. And certainly when I get a lot of engagement, I get a lot of views of my profile on LinkedIn and things like that. A lot of new connection requests, and it snowballs, really.
It goes.
People know who you are and they recognize your name, and that's the name of the game, really.
Cool. And because of that, tell us the exciting news.
Oh yes, the exciting news is somebody in the UK introduced me to a guy in Australia, which was quite exciting in itself. And he invited me to be part of his business growth program. And one of the guys on there in Australia introduced me to his colleague in Canada. And the guy in Canada has now asked me to produce a magazine for him. So we're going to be producing another magazine, like a done for you service, which will be distributed in Canada and the States. And then in turn, he's introduced me to a networking group he runs in the UK. And there's a guy in there who's an accountant in South Africa. And I had a meeting with him on Thursday last week. And I was telling him a bit of that story. And he said, well, actually, that's why I wanted to talk to you. How much would it cost for you to produce a magazine for me in South Africa?
You go. Okay, we'll do that then.
Yes. So I gave him a figure, and he wasn't fazed by that at all. He just carried on talking. And yeah, so I think we're going to be producing a magazine for him in South Africa as well. Okay. And he's going to promote Steer Your Business to his accountancy connections in South Africa too. So it's going to put my magazine on the map, as well as giving me another income stream with a new client.
Isn't that amazing? And so if people are watching and they're sort of like tentatively putting their toes in the water of business, and they, you know, and they've done a bit and nothing's really happening, and they're still passionate about it, but they're just a little bit, what am I doing? What would you advise them to do?
Just keep going. This hasn't happened overnight. This is years of hard work, and some things have worked, some things haven't. Sometimes they're the right people, sometimes they're not, but you learn from each thing. And I've just adapted what I've been doing, but just kept going, kept talking to people, and eventually you hit on the right group of people, which is what I seem to have done now. I think you just have to keep going, because at first you're putting out something that maybe you're not quite so confident about to people who don't know you. And you have to build up that level of trust and credibility.
Yep.
And the confidence. So my confidence was rock bottom 5 years or so ago because of something that happened. I could barely stand up and say my name. I certainly wouldn't have done this.
Wow.
And I would not have been talking to all these people on a global basis. I would have just run and hid, gone back to bed. I wouldn't have done it.
So is it like a muscle then? You keep doing it.
Yeah, you keep doing it, and it's little steps, tiny steps. And each time you do a tiny step, you think, well, actually, I can do that now. That wasn't quite so bad, so I'll do it again. And each time you do that, you get a little bit more confident. So when I first started speaking, I mean, if you'd seen me, I had to hang on the back of the chair to stop me shaking, and note pages and pages of notes, and it was still very traumatic, and that was only for 10 minutes. But I did it 4 times in 4 weeks, which was just horrendous. But then you can do it, and you think, oh, so actually I can do this. It's
I'm
fine.
still okay. Yeah.
I'm still all right. I'm still standing up and breathing. It's fine. And then somebody will ask you to do for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or a slightly bigger audience. And that did happen to me. Somebody asked me to speak and I didn't really think about it too much. And I opened the door and there were 200 students there and me on a stage.
It's like, won't be a minute. Just breathe.
There was no going back. So I had to do it. And I did do it. So I know that I can do that now. And the same with the video, you know, even at the beginning of lockdown, I wasn't very comfortable with these video calls. And
I remember our conversation.
A day. You know, this is my 3rd one, I think, today. So, and I've got some more to come. So it doesn't faze me anymore, but it's pushing that comfort zone, not a massive amount, just a little bit each time.
Yep.
And you get more and more comfortable and your confidence gets greater and greater. You know, if somebody said to me 6 months or a year ago, will you produce a magazine for us? I would have just run for the hills. But now I think, well, yes, why not? We've got the system and process in place. Why not?
Why not? Absolutely, why not? And I think it's that whole, you know, I do believe it's a muscle. I do believe it's keep doing it one step at a time for you to be in the direction that you want to be.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you might have to change direction because somebody asks you something and you go, wow, I've not even thought about that.
Exactly.
That's just, yeah, okay, let's work this out. I think as business owners, we do see the people who seem to be fairly high on the ladder, you know, and we see they're driving around in trucks with their name on, or you see them big coaching people out there, and you see, I don't know, Mr. Robbins or whatever, you know, we aim and we aspire to be whoever we see, and they sometimes seem so far up that ladder, they go, we never ever.
They've all started somewhere. They might
Absolutely.
not be telling you about it right now, but they've all started somewhere with that same blank of paper and nobody turning up to listen to them speak. You know, everybody goes through it.
Absolutely.
No such thing as an overnight success.
That's the difference,
isn't it?
To
be an overnight success.
Yes.
They just don't tell you that bit.
Yeah, it happened because, you know, I woke up one morning and then yes. I was a pop star, or I was a multimillionaire, or I was speaking on a stage in front of 5 billion people. It isn't that. And I think that's good it's not like that, because if it was like that, we would trip more often.
Yeah, but you know, even if you look at people like Richard Branson or Alan Sugar, they've all had failures along the way. You know, they haven't gone straight to some multi-million global business. They've probably failed more times than they succeeded. You just don't hear about it.
They're not promoting those bits.
No, exactly.
You know, we're talking about
those bits down quietly and move on to something else.
Yeah, they're not going to market that to the world, are they? But also, you know, the whole point of business is personal growth as well as income.
Yes.
But hopefully, you know.
Well, I think when you start to grow and be confident in yourself and you've got a good product, then the money comes. If you focus on the money, then it's more of a struggle.
Well, that's what you're focusing on, and we know what that is. You know, that can become quite a negative, you know, because if we're focused, and I understand that we have, and people will be out there listening who go, yeah, but you've got it. But actually, darlings out there, we've all started with that idea. We've all started with a little bit of a plan on the back of a beer mat.
Yes.
You
That's
know,
how most businesses start.
Yeah, we're chatting somewhere going, that'll be a blooming good idea, won't it? After a few glasses of red, you know. You know, but that's why we start that process. We relax and we think about, okay. Mine was I used to drive from Essex down south, and I used to pass all these trucks. I sort of mentioned trucks, and it was like, God, they've got there, they've done it, but they didn't always drive a big Arctic or whatever. So they've all started from somewhere. And that's when I was starting to develop the thought of running my own business. This was like 2000. God.
Yes. Well, it takes time, doesn't it? And for the idea to evolve and grow
and change and twist
and change and it doesn't, you don't get that perfect business overnight. If you did, everybody would be doing it.
It'd be magic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be so exciting, would it, when things happen and
wow, somebody's talking to me, I'm in South Africa, and of course we can do that. That's pretty awesome.
And I think that's it. It's that can-do attitude, and then you work it out afterwards.
We just get up, keep going, get up every day and keep going. And I suppose I can achieve. We've been running since not quite 2005, 2006, and it has evolved into different places. People have known me from different places, but I can achieve now. We've got to a stable point of going, actually, I'm comfortable. I love working with female business owners.
Well, exactly.
It does me good, and I love people sharing, and I love people growing, and it makes me smile. Maybe it's a bit of a mummy in me, I don't know. I just love the fact that people evolve.
It's exciting when you see that, because once one starts to grow, it's catching, isn't it? You share that energy and everybody starts to get it, and it's brilliant. I love that bit too. So
it's just magic, isn't it? And people can come and say, oh my God, one lovely lady, I've been working with her for a year, and she sent me a lovely letter, and I love it. And she said, oh my God, done my projections for next year, and I've increased my turnover by 50%. And it was like, bloody hell, woman.
Yes.
It was like, my God. And I hope you're dancing around your office or your kitchen or wherever you are, going, that's bloody amazing. And it's those sort of things that, as I can achieve, it's like, okay, I'm on the right path. And when you get the phone calls from blooming Canada or something, you go, right, cool, we can do this. And it makes us all smile.
It makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Does. And I suppose that's why I can achieve TV. So if anybody's out there watching, this is open to every female business owner. If you're female and you're a business owner, give us a shout, because we can chat. And as you can say, we're very casual. We're not sitting, I do say quite a lot, we're not the BBC, darling. We're quite casual, and we're real people. And it depends where, it doesn't matter where you are in your business, whether you're just thinking about this little embryo of a business or you are further up the ladder. But either way, it's all about supporting each other, and it's about inspiring people to take that next step. So if you are like Sally and I, going, didn't like this talking thing once, and you're sat there going, I'm not sure I can do that. I don't know if I can press that button, because I know sometimes it's hard, whether it's going live, isn't it, on a Facebook post or a recording of something. If you think you're not doing it, then come along, because I'm hoping Sally's going to agree with me, but we're quite casual here, and we're here to hold your hand through that. It's a good thing.
It's been brilliant, and it's a really good thing to do, because people then get you, and they get to hear about you and your story, and that's what people like, that's what people buy into. So the more of these sorts of things that you do, the better, really.
Get your name and face out there. Sally and I had a little chat before we went live, and I went, I look tired today. and sometimes we do, and we say we haven't had our hair cut due to all that lot, and we haven't got a lippy on, or you go,
But I think that makes it more real, doesn't it? That, if we'd had our hair and makeup done, and it was all too slick, it wouldn't be real, would it?
Absolutely, because we're not that person. Reality check is that we all get up in the morning and feel a bit, we all clean our teeth, we all do other stuff in the world. And if we're reality check is, we don't wake up looking like, glam.
I'm not sure I ever look like that.
No, I'm not particularly glam. you know, and actually it doesn't matter as long as we are doing it.
Exactly.
Just bloody well do it, whatever that is. You know, it's not like backflips or whatever, but just do the next step, do the next step, next
Exactly.
step. Cool. So what's next, Sally, after South Africa, Canada, America, UK?
Well, before the lockdown, there was talk of a paid speaking trip to Australia. Obviously, we can't do that at the moment, but
I wouldn't do it at the moment, no.
no, but that would be quite nice. I love traveling, and to get paid for traveling, how cool would that be?
Result, yeah, absolutely.
It's a bit of a scary step in a way that somebody's paying you just to stand up and speak, but I think that's probably the next thing.
Fabulous. So do let us know.
Yes.
Make sure somebody else is videoing so we can see a little bit.
Yes, I will.
I will. And it's like comfort zone, even yourself, a bit of a selfie behind it,
Yes.
because that again gives you that energy to go, bloody hell, last year I was sat in the kitchen going, shit, can I do sorry guys, can I do this? And now you stood there going, oh my god, it's because we took one step at a time.
Exactly.
Love it. So I think we should book it next year, see where we've got.
Do the review.
Yeah. Oh, I've had an idea. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be cool. Absolutely brilliant. Wow, my darling, I'm going to say goodbye to these lovely audience. They are probably wanting a wee or a cup of tea.
or something strong.
Something else. Yeah, we're good. But as we've said throughout the interview, if you wish to join me and sort of share about your business and share about your journey, please give me a shout. So ICA TV, we'll put in information from Sally about where you can find her and see her journey as well. Lots of journeys in this end bit of journey, but we'll pop that up so you can find out about Sally and ourselves. If you wish to talk to either of us, I am certainly open, and I know Sally is.
Definitely, always happy to chat.
It's always a good thing, and we will catch up soon. So thank you, Sally. Really appreciate your time.
No, thank you. It's been great.
And it's good. And welcome again to ICA TV. Please share about us, and we will be coming out again very soon. And hopefully one day it's going to be you. So love you lots, everyone. Bye.
Bye.